Hello everybody, what is going on? And welcome back to our My Player Career Mode. I hope I find you well. In store for you today, we have ourselves the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We've got 4 league games to show you, and we've even got a game in the European Championship qualifiers up against Italy. So sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy as we start with some league action. And as you know, the title race could not be closer. We are joint top, only separated on head-to-head record with Atletico Madrid at the moment. So any slip-up could be disastrous depending on what happens in their game. So first up, Getafe. It's safe to say I didn't have my finest game here in this one. And as we were approaching half-time with the score still 0-0, not playing too well, I took it upon myself to ask to be substituted. I wasn't playing good football, so I thought, why hinder my team anymore? Let's just ask for that change and see if our substitute works, you know. Romario Barrow came on in our place, and he was actually involved for the first goal as he squared it across to Alenya for an assist and the finish into the bottom corner. So the change worked. Romario Barrow came on and changed the game as you'd expect from a substitute, and he's arguably good enough to be starting games. But at 1-0, Getafe had a massive chance, and they watched it go begging. It was a header in and around the penalty spot, which, had it have gone in, maybe would have changed the game. But with the score at 1-0, 3 minutes from time, it wasn't our best display by any means, but we made sure of the points. Barrow again involved, this time to Rice. He finds the ball back to the edge of the penalty area, and there was Melendo. So 2-0, first game of the day. We had to win. We've done that, and it just made sure that any pressure that Atletico would put on us, we were able to respond with. So yeah, a bit of an annoying way to start, though, having to come off in the game, having not played very well. But sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and admit when you're not playing well and you know, just go off and allow somebody else to come on to change the game. And that's what happens. So fair play to the boys. They got the job done without me. Don't you worry, though. We are able to come back strongly and make the difference in the remaining games of today. Speaking of which, some European Championship qualifying games. Poland first, we had that, and it was a 1-1 draw after a sim. So I decided to go ahead and play against Italy. As you can see, we were second in the group. And at 28 now, which is what we are, this will likely be our last major competition with England. I don't think we will make another World Cup. So it's pretty important that we qualify, if you will. And Dele Alli started off the scoring, making it 1-0. We went on to dominate Italy as Rashford got us 2-0 in front. I assisted the first 2, so pretty happy with my contribution during this game. And this header in a moment from Rashford is quality. The ball in from Hudson-Odoi as well, equally so. Just before half-time, 3-0 in front and cruising. And then we made it 4. Rashford again picking up the match ball for his hat-trick. I went on a bit of a mazy run to get through, and initially the ball was actually meant to go to Rashford, but went all the way through to Hudson-Odoi, who simply laid it back across, and there was Marcus for his hat-trick. So collected the match ball, and it meant we moved back top of the group stage, and I think that means we're pretty much already there, you know, in qualification. And if there's one thing to maybe end the series off, a European Championships would not be a bad thing to do that with. We'd already played in the World Cup, you might remember. Go and check that out if you missed it. And if you did see that, you know how it went. But we then moved into Alaves, and I spoke about us actually making the difference in a couple of games coming up a bit later on. Well, this is one of those, as we set up the first goal, a ball to the back post, and Rashica was there to make sure to turn the ball home to give us the lead. And really, it took us until the last sort of 12 minutes before we even looked like scoring again. I mean, we did actually play better in this game than we did in the first one, but we didn't dominate it anywhere near enough as I would have hoped. De Ligt's effort here kept out by Benitez. We did, though, go 2-0 in front. Again, having to wait until late on, and the patience that we showed here to create the chance, it didn't seem like there was a runner. Eventually, Alenya made the run through from midfield, and we found him, and he slotted home for 2 goals in as many games. But as you'll see on the replay, it was just, I was having to hold on to the ball for so long. Nevertheless, it did mean we pick up another 3 points, which in turn means that we keep Atletico behind us, albeit it's still exactly as it was. So as I show you the table now with 9 games to play, both of us sat on 80 points apiece. And I just want them to just slip up just once. at some point surprise us. Just throw a result in there where we look at it and go, what on earth happened? Because that's exactly what we did. Espanyol, I mean, they took the lead after 8 minutes, and the header was great, but I wonder how they had so much time to find it. Luckily for us, it was so early on in the game that I felt there would be chances, and Rashica here wins a free kick. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I saw us picking up the ball and taking responsibility, I thought, what are we doing? We haven't scored a free kick all series. We never looked like scoring a free kick really all series. But hey, when you wait this long, maybe it'll turn good once. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves our first free kick goal of the series. It's only taken 87 episodes, but we finally scored one. So we got the achievements for doing that. We got a couple of attribute boosts as well, so that was pretty cool to see. But as you're watching, we just never really looked comfortable in the game, and Alisson makes a top save there, and we go on to give away a penalty. The challenge coming in from Goretzka on Zaniolo, and it meant, again, we could well be behind in the game, which, as I tell you this, our opponents, or our rivals I should say, the team fighting us for the title, were like 3-0 up in their game, so they were never looking like they dropped points. And immediately after going actually behind again, to our credit, we hit straight back. Awful defending from Espanyol, it has to be said. I'm not sure what happened to them. They just allowed me to go on a bit of a mazy run. Our shot was deflected back, and there was Timo Werner at 2-2. But it just felt like we were waiting to respond more than anything. And as you'll see, there's the goal to tell us that they've gone 3-0 in front, as De Ligt's header was nowhere near the goal. Not sure what he was thinking there. And there you go. 92 minutes on the clock. The referee blew for full time. And that was a single point. And reactions at full time tell you that that means that we now slip to second in the table, in the title race. Yeah, I'm not sure what it means. We'll just have to wait and find out from this point forward then. Let's not dwell on that last game against Espanyol. It's not the result we wanted, but it's happened now. And it means our attention switches over to the Champions League then, where 2 games up against Atletico will make or break our season, essentially. We may well have lost the title to them in that game. I don't see them slipping up. They haven't got to play Real, I don't think, so they should win pretty much the rest of their games. The only teams to take points off them this year in the league were us. We've beaten them and drawn against them, I believe. And they've drawn against someone else, of who I'm not quite sure. So it's looking unlikely that they will drop those points. Which means the other goal we had was to win the Champions League. And we face them knowing that we need to put in probably 2 of our best performances we're likely to see. So this will be it for today's episode. We will play both of these games today, so you will find out how it goes. And then next time, we've got the Copa de España final to face against them too. If we get through this round, I will feel very confident moving into the rest of the competition, because really right now, you could argue that Atletico are the best side in the world in my game save. So we know what it means. We know what's at stake. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the Champions League quarter-finals. And so here we are with our team on the screen. De Ligt up front, Torreira at left back. You know how it's been for us in recent games. Still not quite fixed, so that's the side we go with. And we've seen the Atletico side plenty of times before, but there is 1 or 2 players in there who I'm not sure if we played against them before. Soyuncu at centre-back is one of those players I'm not sure if we faced before as part of their side. And looking around at some of the other faces that I recognise there. There it is on your screen. So, yeah, I think Soyuncu actually might be the only one that hasn't featured against us. I could be wrong there, but it's a strong side. We know that. We know how good it is. Felix been very quiet in recent games against us. Not a bad start from us here in this one, as Alenya's ball through will find us on the right foot. All Black has made a tremendous save to deny us the opening goal. It's a chance that I didn't really think we'd find there. And then, oh, what's that throw-in? And then as soon as it fell on the right foot, I wasn't sure about the finish. It was not a bad effort by any means. And All Black, that's what he's paid to do, make saves like that. And we could have been ahead inside the first 10 minutes here. Half-time whistle is sounded. It is 0-0 at half-time. But it does mean that we keep Atletico quiet. And we haven't created a massive amount in terms of chances. But you would say we had the best chance of that first half. Oblak producing a magnificent save to keep the scoreline at 0-0. As long as we don't allow them an away goal, I'll be pretty happy with a 0-0 draw. It means we can go to their place and really attack. Changes for both teams now then with about 15 minutes left to play. It's the end of our night. I was looking exhausted out there. So, yeah, one mind on the second leg as long as we don't give away a goal. Now as De Ligt actually has given us what could be a massive goal in the tie. I was not expecting that from the corner. And Matthijs De Ligt, who's captain on the night, has just scored. Now, he is playing up front, but it's not a chance from a striker's perspective. It's come from a set piece. And Atletico will be kicking themselves because they just seemingly fell asleep here. The delivery's not magnificent or anything like that. It's just, it's looped in. Oblak sort of half decides he wants to try and claim this, but then realises he's probably not going to get there. And that is horrific defending at this level of football from Atletico. It really is. Into added time we go. Atletico corner in towards the middle. Soler will head it away. And Soyuncu trying to reclaim possession does so. And I'll say this about Atletico. In the games we've played against them, I think when both teams are playing their best football, it has to be said we are probably the better team. But what they do really well, as full time is sounded, and that is a big win for us, is that they have their good days far more consistently than we do. There's been times this season in the league where we've not performed to standard, especially that Espanyol game, but Atletico don't do that. They have their good days far more often than we do, and that is a major plus point for them. But today wasn't one of their better days. In fairness, we didn't create that much, but Matthijs De Ligt put us in front, and is that goal enough to send us through to the semi-finals of the Champions League? We've got a game against Levante in between the two games, but I'll show you the very brief highlights of that as we will play it live. Let's jump into that game. Levante get the game on the way, and they have themselves an early corner. It is punched away by Alisson. However, they still have possession on the edge of our penalty area. The ball through, and a big save to start this game off. Imagine if they'd have scored there. Atletico play the day after us, so we don't need to worry about updates from that game. We just have to worry about ourselves and winning this one. And that was very nearly the worst possible start for us. Melendo backheel towards Goretzka. Now the ball through, and surely for 1-0. And it is. We take this chance, and we take it wonderfully into the bottom corner. And that is a big goal that we needed to find just before the half-an-hour mark. Since Levante's opening chance, they've created nothing else, and we have been on top in this game. Just 11 goals conceded all season long. 2 of those, of course, in that last game against Espanyol. So by that, I would expect us to keep a clean sheet here. But the way we've played in that last game makes me think we might just need a second goal to make sure of this. And we might well be in for number 2 here. De Ligt is onside, and he's bearing down on goal. Has he got the finish, though? Yes, he has. It is 2-0 Barca, and surely now that wraps up the points then. We're looking pretty good in possession at the moment, and Jesus might get a chance to make it 3, and he will do just that. 3-0, and it's just after we've come out after the second half. I'm going to actually ask for a sub now, so we are fully fit for that Madrid game, the second leg in the Champions League. But again, Levante just look beaten. They're just not really pressuring us when we're in possession. It's a little bit too easy. And then you wonder how we drop points in certain games, right? When we control games like this, teams don't really get near us. But it's that inconsistency that we spoke of that Atletico just don't do. Rashica stood over this corner, goes to the near post, and Piontek is at that near post with a glancing header. And it is 4-0 Barcelona, the day getting worse here for Levante. The home fans haven't had much to be happy about today, but they've got a chance here down the right-hand side. A lovely delivery in, actually, towards Bore, who will get a goal back. It will be only a consolation. What a cross this is. First time as well. And at least it gives the home fans something to shout about. It's been that type of day for them, and they'll be waiting for the full-time whistle to come. Full time then, and the result is secured, a 4-1 victory. But now we move into the second leg, and you know how important it is. Atletico get the game underway then. There is a couple of changes for them. They've got Anderson back in at centre-back, Sayuncu drops to the bench, and also Paulinho in at right midfield. I don't think there's any changes to our starting 11 though, but we know the importance of this game, so too to the home side tonight, and they find themselves a goal down courtesy of that De Ligt goal in the last game between the two. And Felix really hasn't done anything in the last few games we've played against them, so he needs to step up tonight. But it's us who are on an early attack as we turn past Anderson in towards the penalty area. Chance for a shot. We get it away, and it's narrowly wide of that far post. Did I have an opportunity to pass this off? Because maybe I should have been looking to do that instead. Should have wrapped my foot around it a bit more, gone for a finesse shot rather than trying to smash it in. It was a chance anyway, but we didn't take it. Atletico starting the game off a little bit slowly. No offside flag. And yet again, we see the heroics of Jan Oblak. De Ligt surely thought he'd scored. Incredible goalkeeping. We've got a corner then, and it will be us to take this as we look to send it in towards the penalty spot. Can we win the header? Well, we didn't even challenge. We do get a second one though. Maybe you go short from this one potentially. No, let's send it back in towards the middle. And yet again, it's into that similar area. Oblak this time out quickly. Lo Celso goes for the chip. Melendo, sorry. And he hits the crossbar. Lo Celso's on their team. Get it right, DJ. But that was so close. Felix now in a little bit of space here after he was able to bring down that ball over the top, and he drives towards our goal. He's hit the post. The ball bounces back out, and Patrick Cutrone has equalised. The first sight of goal that Atletico have had, and they've taken it. The game plan as well was so strange from them tonight. They just didn't seem to want to really throw bodies forward. They were seemingly happy, sat behind the ball defending, and it's paid out. It's paid off. I mean, it's a massive slice of luck, the way the ball bounces back to Cutrone. But that means then that it's back on level terms. Remember as well, we are away, right? So a goal here counts as an away goal to us. So it would count as 2, essentially, should we draw the game. But that goal was not really even coming up until that point. They'd not offered anything going forward. So that's disappointing from us to give away a goal like that. Can we find a response before half-time as Rashica finds the ball towards us? The touch to take it past the first defender! And then the rifle into the bottom corner. We restore our advantage, and we grab the vital away goal that we needed. If Atletico find themselves back on level terms now by scoring again, we have the away goal advantage, which means this cannot go to extra time. Get in, just what we needed as well, right before half-time. And quite frankly as well, from what we've seen in the game, we didn't deserve to be down at half-time by a goal to nil. So I'd argue that that's probably fair as going into the break on level terms. Lo Celso up towards Felix. He's trying to use that trickery. A lovely ball into Lo Celso's feet. Alisson with the save though. And another moment for Atletico that they really need to be taking. And now a bit of pressure for us to try and withstand. Ipswich with the throw-in. Not really an option on just yet, but he finds Felix. The header down towards him. Now Lo Celso inside our penalty area again. This time, it's the ball to Felix. Felix across. Marquinhos in the right place at the right time. 33 minutes left. And we're caught in two minds. Do we sit back and defend and just try and hold out? Do we go forward and try and get another goal? I don't really know, but we look now out to this left-hand side for Jesus, who's in a one-on-one. And if he can beat his defender, he might have a sight of goal. He chooses instead, though, to wait for some players to get up and try and help him. And in doing so, we've lost possession. Here is Dallo finding the feet of Ipswich. The ball attempted towards the near post. Alexander-Arnold there to block it behind. But as you can see, we're over the allotted time by the referee, and Atletico need 2. They recognise their time is running out. And at this stage, we are advancing through to the semi-finals of the Champions League, which will be a massive achievement for us. And now as well, I said this earlier, you'd argue they're the best team in the world currently. Well, we've beaten them over 2 legs. and we await to see who it will be in the semi-finals. But remember, the very next episode, the very next game, is our Copa de España final tie against none other than today's opponents as well. So I imagine that will be equally as close a game. Our goal enough to send us through here, and it's now all eggs into the Champions League basket, if you will. Let's see the draw then for the semi-final before we go. Drum roll, please, as we see we will face Juventus in the semi-finals. Our former club, Manchester United, play up against AC Milan. You know what's about to happen, right? If we beat Juve, as much as I enjoy my time at Manchester United, we won a Europa League with them, I would love to play them in the final. I'm saying this now, if they end up beating us in that final, should they get there, I will change my tune very quickly. But it's looking like it could well be us versus Manchester United. If that's the case, that would make a great, great live stream, wouldn't it? That's the promise to you guys. If we make the final, I will live stream it for the first time since, I think, last FIFA. I think the last live stream I did in a My Player series was probably last FIFA. If not, it might have even been the FIFA before that. I do remember live streaming a World Cup final once. So, yeah. But, all in all, it's shaping up to be what could be quite a interesting final of the Champions League. So, Juve is to come next. Not next episode, probably. It'll be the episode after that, where I might go ahead and see what's what. So we play Atletico. That'll be its own individual episode, just the final on its own. Then we've got Sociedad and Betis before our first leg against Juve. And then we move into May, where we have our first leg again. So what I think I might do is I'll play that final. And if we get 300 likes on today's episode of My Player Career Mode, I will give you the Copa de España final tomorrow on the Saturday. It'll either be 6 p.m. or 4 p.m. So if you get 300 likes, that'll be out tomorrow. And then we'll play through those two legs and see if we slip up. Because if we do slip up in the league, the likelihood is that Atletico won't. Let's just double check to see if they are still top. Because with our win earlier, they played the day after. Imagine if they did end up dropping points. We would go back top, of course. So let's just double check that. And no, so they did win. So 7 games to go, 2 points adrift. We need them to drop points whilst we pick up all of the maximum available. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But ultimately, it's all about the Champions League now. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, a huge thank you for all of your support and your patience whilst my shoulder recovers. I mentioned this in the last video, but it is going a lot better. I am getting there now as well, so it's going back to how it was previously. So yeah, that's all good news. Thank you for your comments and all that good stuff, asking me how I was getting on. So I guess that's the update for you guys. But until next time, stay safe, have a great day, have a great evening, enjoy your Friday, and I will see you back here tomorrow for hopefully the Copa de España final should we hit 300 likes. Until then, adios.